some real superheroes in my top 10. That being said, G.I. Joe was 42, Justice League was 41, All-Star Superman was 39, Avengers was 35, Fantastic Four was 34. So, and Batman Black Mirror 29. So we did better, but still a bad superhero book. I guess I have little tolerance for.
That G.I. Joe one was rough. All right, so we're heading into fantasy. So what are our choices, James?
For the fantasy category, we have Autumnlands, which is, it's like each animal species is its own tribe, and they're kind of like fighting it out.
Yep, politics.
Orcstain, which is, there's like orcs.
It's one character named One Eye who is an amazing orc. But the real standout there is James Stokoe's art. It's a really cool looking book.
And our last is Rat Queens, which when I've been in comic book stores, I've been seeing Rat Queens way more pushed heavier than I was expecting. I kind of glance around, I'm like, what's popping? What are they pushing? Rat Queens. I keep seeing Rat Queens.
It's very sassy and it might be popular with teenagers. Not so. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my pick.
I ranked it 21.
Oh, you liked it that much?
You never know if that was good or bad. What did our listeners think, Larry?
Oh, let's get to the listeners. Let's see what they like.
Rat Queens, Orcstain, and
Rat Queens at 33. 16.7%. Orcstain 33%, and your winner, or 33.3%, and your winner, Autumnlands.
Autumnlands, my lowest ranked comic.
No, Autumnlands is
one below G.I. Joe.
I absolutely adore this book. I thought this was the best fantasy book. It is my pick for fantasy. I think the characters are great. I think the art is phenomenal, and it just reminds me of like a kid book almost, like when you were like a little kid and were reading comics or reading.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't understand what's going on. But I like the look of this bison.
Yeah, illustrated animals. I loved it.
The anthropomorphism was its saving grace.
I loved it.
It didn't save it very much, though.
What did you go with, James?
I went with Rat Queens, actually.
Oh, sorcery and sassy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this fantasy category needs a little bit of work, but nothing really stood out to me. Orcstain, I ranked 28, Rat Queens 21. So, I don't know. Maybe we're going to need to find some good fantasies for next year, Larry.
Okay. A challenge. All right. Heading into Western.
Western. Now, this might be my favorite category.
Mine too.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that these were my favorite books. I just love Westerns, like the movies or whatnot. And just the concept. We got Dark Tower the Gunslinger.
Straight up gunslinger. Says it in the title.
We got Batlash.
Oh, tell us about Batlash.
That's more like an old school gunslinger.
Old school romance gunslinger.
We got classic Usagi Yojimbo, which is a rabbit is a samurai. He's a ronin.
And how about the last one?
East of West.
East of West is a sci-fi western.
Yeah.
Set in the future.
Who wrote it?
Oh, no. I think
it's Jonathan Hickman, right?
I think it's Jonathan Hickman, yes.
I think it might be Jonathan Hickman, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great-looking book. Beautiful art. Oh, let's see what the...
what did the listeners say?
Oh, this is our last category, by the way, too.
It's the listeners' last category.
It's the listeners' last category. Our listeners went with... They're very bright, and they went with the same book
Same
that
as you?
I went with.
Did you go for Usagi?
Classic Usagi Yojimbo. What a great book.
I was really debating it, and I went with Usagi as well.
Yeah, of course you did. It is such a great book.
I love Hickman, and I got to give him props for East to West, but it wasn't as much of a, like, classic Usagi was like these beautiful Western when I think of Western, I think of samurai just as much. And he was perfect, great little stories. You could read them as a bedtime story.
They were great. It was a super fun read, and I'm still reading it. I love Usagi.
Nice. A contemporary classic.
Yeah.
All right, Larry. Now it's time for the real work.
The real work. All right. So let's
Should we start with our favorite cover?
I think that's a great place to start. I'm gonna put some music
to
it.
I made some references to some of the covers that I liked a lot. I think probably the two that I was contending with the most were 68 and 0, both named after, or both number based.
Both number based.
But before I reveal, Larry, which ones were you debating between?
Well, I really was. I actually have a poster of this in my basement.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at it right now. It's the Rotten cover.
Oh yeah. Oh, Rotten.
So these zombies are different looking than your typical zombie. So they got a grayish hue to them than like the Rotten Flesh, zombies. I don't know. Like, I just love the look of this. Rotten's in blue letters, and you see the gunslinger. It's just a great looking cover. But it did not take me long to just come up with I found a better cover.
I thought the Rotten one was all right, but I thought the word Rotten wasn't that well put
okay.
on it. I don't know why, but to me, I want to know what comic it is right away.
Oh, I get
it. I think that it's a great panel, but I don't know if it's a great. I don't know. It's a great cover, but I don't know. Maybe just the word Rotten.
Right. It wasn't my pick, though. It was.
Okay.
I debated a little bit, but then I went straight to Paper Girls.
Are you serious? I guessed it.
Is my pick. It is such.
Paper Girls.
When I saw this in previews long before this book came out, that cover really stood out. Cover. Bright yellow, hot pink, smoking you
see all the characters.
All the characters.
Simple. They each have their own look.
It's a great looking cover. So Paper
Crack
Girls
down the middle.
Oh yeah, with the smoke up from Joe's cigarette. Yeah, it's a great book and it's a great cover. And then they also, if you bought this in physical form, you can take all of the covers, you can pull out the staples from all of the covers and make a giant poster.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Paper Girls.
Paper Girls. So I also like the yellow cover, so I went with 0. I think I might have gone for it, especially because I remember how disappointed I was when the inside was not like the outside.
0 is an awesome cover.
I was just imagining the inside being so cool.
I remember when this book was going through...
His jacket has such cool texture.
Yeah. When this book was going through our club each week, or each month when this book came out, we all marveled at just the stylized covers, and we really like that. That's a solid choice. Yeah, that's a good book. All right. Cover, all right, that's a big one. I like the cover.
All right. Should we go artist?
Ooh, this is a big one for us.
Best artist, Larry. Oh my goodness, there were so many good ones to choose from.
Now, I had to
what was your process even?
Yeah, this is tough because I've given it to I like so many artists, and I kind of go back and forth, and I vacillate on different styles, and a lot of times you'll just sort of this is the style that I like, and I only like that style.
Well, because last year you went Jeff Lemire, right?
Yes.
And his style is different than anybody's style.
Different than anybody's style.
When I was trying to think what would Larry choose, I'm like, well, what was most like what he chose last time? And there's just nothing like it at all.
Right.
So then I'm like, well, what did I like?
I actually went with something that was somebody who I had to look up who the artist was. I was like,
Whoa.
I know this book. I've read this book. I've been reading this book from Jump.
Jump.
But I don't know who
Froggy
this
Leap.
artist is. And so I was like, oh, the artist, his name is Greg Tocchini, and the book is Low.
Low. Okay, so that does make sense why people might have chosen it as their favorite.
Gorgeous watercolors on top of crisp inks. It just looks beautiful. And the world building that they do, like this, like it's underwater, so there's strange fishes, and it's just awesome to look at. And there's some just like big bubbles of art just everywhere. It's good looking stuff.
And very like roundy.
Yeah,
it's not super sharp.
Yeah, nothing's sharp. Everything's organic.
It's almost like the opposite of Stray Bullets.
The opposite of Stray Bullets, which is
not that you can go opposite, but
That's what you went with?
That's how I think sometimes. No, so I was really debating The Dying and the Dead because it had such crazy detail, and I loved the coloring. Like, to me, the color to have a third colorist, and anything Jonathan Hickman does incorporates color as like a storytelling part.
You bet.
I love it. If you can include color as a way to, like, you're using everything you can to tell the story. But when I read My Favorite Thing is Monsters,
yes.
I went out, I bought it for my brother. I'm like, I need to buy this for somebody. This is the best art I've ever seen. And it wasn't even a choice for me once I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, My Favorite Thing is Monsters. Oh yeah, duh. Of course.
What an easy pick for you. That is
so good.
So good. And so varied too. Like, she goes from scratchy style to super hyper detailed to color with just ink pens. It's nuts.
The characters, they're great, little anthropomorphized. There's crazy detail. The story, the art tells the story. There's, I don't know. It's every page you're like, wow, I've never, like, because it's on notebook paper in ballpoint pen.
Yeah.
And it just puts it in a different category a little bit. I don't know. I couldn't recommend it more. If you read a comic for the art, then first one I'd point you to. Yeah.
And just so, like, the physical, like, it's free on Comixology, and it's worth looking at on Comixology, but to have that giant book in front of you, it's just fantastic. Awesome choice. Awesome choice. All right, so we're heading into home stretch here with Writer.
Number one writer. Larry, I can't remember who I said last year.
I can't remember who I said last year either. I'm going to guess that you would have, I think you said Hickman.
I think I said Hickman last year, and it's amazing to me that I'm going to say him again this year, because The Dying and the Dead and East of West were
strong showings.
Top 10, top 5. Well, no, East of West was 7. Regardless, to have 2 different books in the top 10, and we did 2 books of his last year that were both in the top 10 as well.
Wow.
So this guy, he knows my buttons, but I think he knows everybody's buttons, because he's...
Oh, yeah.
He's the one that people point to. When I go to the comic book store, I'm like, hey, what's good? And I had the comic book store, shoot, I can't remember, Cosmic Comics? No, it's a different one. They gave me East of West for free because I asked them about Dying in the Dead.
Oh, good comic book picks.
They got me.
They got you. Yeah, both those books and Jonathan Hickman. I've read a lot of Jonathan Hickman books, and he does superhero stuff so well. He spearheaded an event a couple years ago, the Infinity, it wasn't an Infinity War book, but it was just called Infinity. And it was fantastic. 12 issues, super fun summertime read. I loved it.